Hi everyone, my name is YULIA MOISEEVA and I'm a registered migration agent. Today I would like to give you a run through what is a student visa, who will benefit from student visa, and what's the whole process of obtaining the student visa. Student visa is a temporary visa that will allow you and your family members to come to Australia and stay in Australia on temporary basis. Student visa will allow you and your family members to come to Australia to study, work for the duration of your course plus 2 or 3 months after the completion of your study. Student visa will allow you to obtain internationally accredited qualification from Australia and also obtain overseas work experience and make some valuable connections in Australia. Student visa will allow you to get new education and build your new career from scratch in Australia. In certain circumstances, student visa will allow you to consider obtaining graduate visa after completion of eligible study. More details about graduate visa you will see in our next video. Using detailed and comprehensive strategic planning, student visa may be your first step towards your study and then building career and later on getting your skilled visa in Australia. Student visa also can be your chance to come to Australia and find employment and transfer into employer-sponsored visa as well. Student visa can be granted for the duration from several months to several years. In certain circumstances, you can extend your student visa. From the 1st of July 2024, certain visa holders will not be permitted to apply for student visa while in Australia. Please see the list of the visas here. However, there is no other limitations to apply for student visa. You can be any age and be a holder of any passport to become a student in Australia. If you're considering student visa as an option to come to Australia, you will need to think about your long-term plan and your goals, whether you would like to apply for permanent residency in the future, to make sure that the student visa will be the best fit for your circumstances. In this case, the best way to start would be to arrange strategic planning consultation, where we will assess whole circumstances of your case and see whether the student visa will be the best fit for your case or offer you any alternative options. What are the key criteria to apply for student visa? First of all, you would need to consider English language test in order to apply for universities or colleges for enrollment. Alternatively, if you already know where you're aiming to apply, for example, you would like to become a nurse in Australia, in this case, you need to get your English test results at a certain level, IELTS Academic 7 or equivalent allowable test, in order to initiate your enrollment. When you lodge your enrollment documents for the university, it will be some time before you get the decision from the university. Once the university give you letter of offer, you will need to agree on the conditions and pay your deposit in order to get confirmation of enrollment and be ready to move to the next step to prepare your documents for student visa. Among other documents for student visa, you will have to prepare the genuine student statement, where you need to describe all your circumstances, your previous background, and inform the officer why you will need to study in Australia, what is your career goals, and how study in Australia compared to any other countries in your home country will benefit your career progression. When applying to student visa in Australia, you will need to arrange student visa insurance policy. Please be mindful on the cost of student insurance. For example, if you're applying on your own for a 2-year course, The insurance may vary around 2,000 Australian dollars for the whole duration of your stay. However, if, for example, you are applying with your partner and 2 kids for the same duration of the course, the insurance policy may cost you around 30,000 Australian dollars and must be paid in full before you apply for student visa. Obtaining the study in Australia will be the good move towards your career advancement, and also to come to Australia and get more international work experience and get more connection for your future career. Also, studying in Australia may be one of your first steps towards successful migration. Who may consider applying for student visa to come to Australia? It can be recent school graduates who are thinking to get internationally recognized qualification and build the career in Australia. If, for example, you complete your bachelor degree and would like to advance your studies and come to Australia, you may consider master degree as a progression of your qualification. If you already obtain bachelor and master degree, you may think about advancing your career into research degrees like Master by Research or PhD. If you're considering study at the vocational education level or completing bachelor degree or master by coursework, please be mindful that if you're aiming to later on apply for graduate visa, you will have to complete your course and apply for graduate visa before you turn 36, unless you are UK or Hong Kong passport holders, where there is a further concessions and they will be eligible to apply for graduate visa before they turn 50. If you're aiming to complete Master by Research or PhD degree in Australia and later on apply for graduate visa, please be mindful that you have to complete your course and apply for graduate visa before you turn 50. If you are applying for student visa on your own, you would like to come to Australia to get a short course, this also can be a good fit for those who are searching for a partner in Australia. You may consider student visa when you're in the pathway for skilled visa, but you're lacking of some points, so you can come to Australia, complete the Australian study, and consider getting more points towards your skilled visa application. If you are over 50 and you're still planning to migrate to Australia, in this case, the best way to consider education for your children in Australia in order for yourself to have a pathway through parents' visa at a later stage. I would not recommend student visa for those who are simply aiming to come to Australia and study English only course. This is the recipe for disaster, and in the likely chances the application will be rejected. However, if you would like to study English, my best advice is to consider visitor visa or e-visitor visa, depending on the country of your passport, to come to Australia and study English up to 3 months. If you still need to study English more than 3 months, you can consider student visa, but with logical progression of your English course advancement. For example, you can get a couple of packages for general English, preparation for IELTS, or English for academic purpose in order to show department your progression towards your future education in Australia. If you already have a partner in Australia, I would not recommend considering student visa unless you have a genuine desire to study in Australia and complete your education. Because if you have a relationship in Australia, the best way is to come to Australia for visiting your partner and then test your relationship in Australia and consider partner visa as a better option in this case. I would not recommend student visa for those whose finances are limited. Simple because student visa requires you to pay for everything, and if you would like to calculate your budget more precisely, please refer to our free guides in order to have the general idea how much it's going to cost you to stay and study in Australia. If you're over 43 with a poor English and you're aiming for skilled migration, I would not recommend considering student visa. However, if you still have a good qualification and work experience, then the best option would be to study English at home and consider employer-sponsored visa instead. What are the best case scenario for student visa? For example, you're a school graduate and you're aiming to come to Australia to obtain your first qualification and build your career in Australia. The other best case is for those who are aiming to continue research degrees in Australia, or if you already obtained your qualification at a bachelor degree level and you're aiming to advance your qualification through master degree programs in Australia, minding the age limit of 32 in order to start your education in Australia. What are the worst cases I would never recommend doing? First of all, stretching English language course for the absolute maximum without showing any progression. For example, you are enrolling into 52 weeks of general English course. This is going to be a complete recipe for disaster with high chances to get a rejection. The other worst case is where you're aiming to complete short courses that are completely unrelated to your qualification or work experience. For example, you're an engineer with years of work experience at the age of 40 who is trying to enroll into a chef course to be a chef or cook in the future. The other worst scenario is where people just accepting any courses for the sake of coming to Australia without any strategic planning in order just to physically come to Australia and then sort somehow pathway to PR. Please do not do that, because it's a simple scenario where you can fail and lose your time and money. If you're still considering student visa, please let me explain how me and my team can help you. First of all, we would suggest to arrange consultation in order to understand your options for any visa to Australia, including student visa, and discuss your career advancement and opportunities in case you're choosing to study in Australia. We're offering our clients assistance and support not only to enroll to any vocational or higher education institution in Australia, but we also guide them to choose the best courses that will have great outcome and pathways for future PR visa options through skilled visa or employer-sponsored visa. During our work on student visa cases, we assist our client with selection and enrollment into a course of study, enrollment for schools if client has any dependent children, assistance with insurance, preparation of genuine student statement, collection and arrangement all the documents for student visa, preparation of the application, and leading the case until decision is made. Please see all the useful links, including links how to book the consultation with us or lodge your free assessment form here under this video.